You're listening to the ITK Soccer Show. It's the 8th of November. I'm joined by John and Dan. I almost said Jan.
Bring name badges next time.
Yeah. Well, you could be collectively known as Jan.
Yeah, we're not that close.
Can you just call us like Dan, Carol, and John O'Carroll, wasn't it?
Like, say, joined by Carol Squared?
Not really.
Sorry, John. Can you talk to the mic, please? That is one thing you do have in the difference.
The O and the fact that one of us talking to a mic is the only difference.
Yeah, very good. So, as we did a show on Thursday, we don't have like a huge amount to talk about. The Zenit and Dundalk match hadn't finished by the time that we finished the show, so we'll start with that, and then we'll move on to Dundalk in the Cup. Basically, it was a very spirited performance.
They were unlucky to hit the post in the bar in the last.
Oh, in the last second, wasn't it?
It was the last couple of minutes. Yeah, they hit the bar. So the Zenit manager said they were the best team we've played by far in the group. So if the big match is going to Israel, if they can get a result out there and then beat the Dutch team at home,
yeah,
they're true. So, and also if Zenit can do them a favour and beat everyone else, but Zenit are true now, so they mightn't care too much. But yeah, amazing performance. And now two of the lads have got into the squad. Irish squad deservedly.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Irish squad in depth in a little while, but obviously the two of them were in the provisional squad, and a lot of people said that, it was a tip of the hat, that Martin O'Neill a few months ago had come out and said that it might be an opportunity, but it might be a bit of a leap. And then last week he made a reference to the fact that the Irish national team isn't a kindergarten. And I was kind of like, okay. So I thought he included them in the squad just as a tip of the hat. But they've made it to the final squad.
There's an awful lot of injuries. But the Daryl Horgan thing, like Daryl Horgan's on the fringes now for like, I'd say about 6 months. And like he pretty much said like how, he's too many games at Dundalk to bring him up. And it's like, but like, the two games against Georgia and Moldova, if you even bring him in for the Georgia game or just go like, and have him there for it, like I just didn't understand why he couldn't even be in the squad. So what the hell are we watching?
I wasn't expecting to see a mop or a puppet. Not quite.
A muppet.
So is there there's no question about him getting into the squad, notwithstanding injuries. The idea that Martin O'Neill was skirting around anyway, the points I was trying to make, where you're saying that there's a difference in level, is he overcompensating how competitive internationals are at this stage in qualifying? Because like if you're competing in the Europa League and you're travelling far distances and stuff like that, I really don't see a huge difference in skill between people like Alkmaar and St. Petersburg and when they're playing fucking Austria. Like is it really that much of a jump for someone like Daryl Horgan?
I think there's that. I think it is a big jump, and I also think that like it's Dundalk played a lot of matches in a very short time to then jump and then go to Austria at a level they've never played. You know what I mean? Like there's players who've your man who went to, was it Brighton?
Richie
Towell, who went to Brighton, and like he's been unlucky with injuries but has barely played, like can't even get into a championship team. So like international football, as bad as some Ireland matches are, literally, the peak for a lot of footballers, and I do think it's a big step up, and I'd be very surprised if they get any minutes against Austria.
I think he'll be a good catalyst to see if there is a difference in the level, because whether he starts or he's brought on, he has a kind of a tenacity and drive to him that very few people, especially with the injuries, do have in the Irish team. So if he can influence the game, I think it's a sign. If he can't, maybe it is a fact that the level is that much different.
Well, obviously it's a huge level from playing St. Pat's every week, but it's
Europa League.
But himself though, Europa League is. But like you see, he's not out of his depth in the Europa League.
This is my point. So therefore,
I think he's worth a shot. But believe it or not, like I'm delighted for Andy Boyle as well, the centre half to get through. Like he's been a rock at the back. I actually think Gartland, his centre back partner, is actually a better player. But I wish you would have brought up Dane Massey at left back because we've no left back.
Yeah. Robbie Brady's going to play left back.
Well, yeah, but he's confined now to play left back. Like
sure.
The only other option there at the moment is probably Kieran Clark, because Cyrus is injured as well. There's no Cyrus, so he could have possibly gone there.
Well, I thought the idea was Cyrus at right and Brady at left, but I forgot about it. When did Cyrus get hurt?
This weekend he went out injured.
Yes.
Well, no, I'm just saying like there's no other option. Dave Massey is actually a left back, and at least he could be an option now. Look, I wouldn't start any of the Dundalk guys. I would. Jeez, that's too much for them. But I don't see, like, I think before in the Georgia game at home when we were kind of struggling the last half an hour to get the crowd going, I would have nearly brought on Daryl Horgan. See what he could do. Yeah. Like, what's John? You was pretty much not the first time. Maybe the first time you saw him in the cup final. What do you think of him? Like, I know, bear in mind they were playing 3 days before against Zenit in Russia.
I've seen him a few times. Like, he's good. Like, he's, I don't know, James McLean light, if almost. Like,
he's better technically than McLean. Like, McLean is kind of like
yeah,
a
but
bomb who runs up and down,
exactly,
like, and just kind of kicks people.
He does that, like,
you know, like Horgan would have a bit more flair.
Probably, but like that's what I meant. But like light, like all the stuff that you bring McLean on for, and I'm not a big fan of McLean, but I can see what he does. I think Richie Towell would also do, but I just think he doesn't. He's not as quick.
We'll focus on the internationals properly before we do our teaser and awards and all that stuff. But sticking with Dundalk, I'll plead complete ignorance. I was aware the match was on. I was aware of the result, but I didn't check the lineup. Was this a depleted Dundalk?
No, they played pretty much their full team.
So it was a tired Dundalk.
Yeah, well,
they look very tired. Cork were definitely the better team for, like, it went extra time.
But when it went extra time, Dundalk's natural fitness kicked in.
Yeah.
Because this Dundalk team, I don't know, like, they're ridiculously fit, but I think after this, when they got to about the 68th minute, Gary Rogers made 2 great saves to keep them out. But then Dundalk, as the kind of maybe last 5 minutes of the second half and in extra time, Dundalk kicked on another level. I was like, how are they getting this from? I just didn't know how they kept going. But Sean Maguire got the goal in the last minute. It was a bit of a fluky goal.
And what a goal!
Bit of a fluky goal. There seems to be really bad goals in the cup finals. That's like 3 years. But no, I was kind of like, I was watching the match with John, and I was like, he's like, oh, you want Dundalk to win? I'm like, the only reason why I kind of want them to win, because what they've achieved this year, if they can go on and do this, it'll be never done again, and you just have to hold your hands up at them. But I think for everyone in the League of Ireland and all Irish fans and teams, they needed Cork to win, because like, just someone please stop them from winning something.
Sure.
Because they would have won the double, and it would have been 3 years in a row winning the league and the Europa League run. And the Europa League run. And now international call-up. So it's all amazing stuff for them. So I think in terms of the League of Ireland and everything, I think the right team won. In fact, the better team won probably on the day anyway, but I think it's good that someone has maybe just stopped them and maybe gives hope for everyone else, and maybe go, we can beat Dundalk, and there is a way to maybe stop them, and hopefully Cork then can kick on as well, and they can raise their level next year, because they've been very unlucky last 3 years. They just come against a better team. I described it like with John. Cork is like, in the last 3 years, Ronaldo, and Dundalk is just Messi. It's just like, if they weren't there, everyone would be talking this Cork team are actually really good as well. But it's just Dundalk are just
a little bit more of a gap between the two.
Well, you know what I mean? It's that sort of, it's the same theory behind it.
What about the confusion that came out when the 2 lads were announced for the Irish squad with the rest of the Dundalk team? Because they were expecting, obviously, to play Zenit for a 3rd time next week.
Oh yeah, hilarious. Well, they're actually restructuring the league, you know that?
Go on. John, come on, give me something here.
That's pretty fantastic.
Thank you. Go on.
They're restructuring the league, though.
It's almost worth you watching no football at all.
This is outrageous. I will give you a second by second breakdown of every single Premier League goal. I only missed Dundalk and Cork.
Like John with the Champions League. John did a great job with the Champions League last week.
Well, if we all had BT and we saw every single goal as it happened, I think it'd be the same.
Yes, I have BT.
Well, yeah.
John had a massive long list, like a big scroll of.
Yeah, no, I did it off from memory. I think that's what was impressive.
No, you did actually. That was very good.
I don't have notes.
The reformation of the Irish League. What are they doing?
They don't know. They're thinking restructuring. They're going to go kind of a north v south league, so they'll have teams kind of in the north of Ireland go against the south of Ireland. 2 different leagues, or else do a 20-man league, or just leave it as it is. But they're going to restructure it anyway. So, but that's the plans anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. But it probably won't be. Probably for about 2 or 3 seasons we see that. But yeah,
okay, fair enough.
And Cork teams to beat.
Moving on to Premier League results from this past weekend, we had Sunderland, the plucky underdog, finally getting a win.
Well done.
Against Bournemouth.
Thoughts? 10 men, Sunderland.
Yeah, incredible.
They're just the worst team.
Did you see it for a while? Like, literally, Sunderland were defending their 6-yard box for 10 minutes in a row. Like they were literally, they were holding a line. They were trying to hold the line as far as the penalty spot. They couldn't get out of their own box.
The stuff the commentators were saying was like, do you remember Arsenal from 5 years ago? Like the IT crowd jokes. Like the problem with Bournemouth is they try to walk it in.
Yeah.
Now they'd Wilshere and Jordan Ive and Stanlas and all these players just not shooting and just passing the ball around. They were unlucky. It's mental. Anichibi, I don't know how to pronounce that. Anichibi, that was it. It was looking like you guys say Lukaku looks like using his strength. Like actually looked.
He's a big boy.
Incredible. He also had a great moment where when after he scored, remember, because he was the player that tweeted like, "Can you tweet something like?"
He tweeted again. He said the same
something
thing.
like, and Sunderland tweet like, "Can we tweet something like it's a goal?" And he tweet like, so I thought that was pretty funny.
I didn't.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
I didn't even know he joined Sunderland until that tweet
the
came out.
incident with the tweet.
Yeah,
fair play to Sunderland for
I
that.
didn't even know he
forgot
was
about
there.
that.
Well, it's all those Everton players. Like they have him, Pienaar, Tim Cahill, Arteta. Like they've all those former Everton players.
Except only 2 of them.
That's the joke there. You guys are bloody great today.
So
Did you see Tim Cahill's goal 2 weeks ago? By the way,
no.
didn't he scored like a shot from like 50 yards, or something, didn't he?
Did he?
Steve Sedwell.
Yeah, him.
Okay, enough with Sidwell.
Sidwell did score a goal from his own half at his wrong
He did,
foot
yeah.
this weekend.
What?
He did, yeah.
This
for-
weekend.
Yeah.
For Brighton, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Enough about Steve Sidwell, like you said.
Yeah, no,
Like he comes up a lot on the show.
Yeah. What have I told you about this, Steve Sidwell? So obviously the hyperbole in the tabloids leading into this match was that if Moyes didn't get a result, this is the end. Is it still going to be the end after one or two more bad results, or what's going to happen with this team?
This was the result Liverpool fans wanted, because after the international break,
It was supposedly.
Liverpool play Sunderland at home, and I think
That could be 8-0.
I think Liverpool
Like, it honestly could be 8-0, and that's not an exaggeration.
no Liverpool fan was looking forward to the 1-1 draw at home with the new Sam Allardyce of Sunderland.
No, that's exactly what you said last week, and I agree with it. Burnley hosted Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are having a bit of a shit buzz at the moment.
This game was insane.
It was
Palace can't keep a
incredibly.
clean sheet. Were you on Football 365 today?
Yes, it was.
Did you read the stupid manager's quotes?
No, I didn't.
Like there was like Paul Lambert saying like, yeah, well, he did a great job at Villa, and it was until I got left, I got relegated, and how they only started spending money when I left. I was like, yeah, they sold Benteke and Delph the same week, that's why. And then there was one of Pardew after the match, and apparently he was saying, it's like, you know, obviously I'd like to keep clean sheets, but I don't really care about it too much. As long as I'm entertaining the fans is the main thing. And it's like, obviously, you know, it's like, yeah, one clean sheet out of like 30 matches they've had or something. And he was just like, the amount of shite he was coming out with was saying he'd rather lose than keep a clean sheet is pretty much what he said to entertain the fans.
Yeah.
Did you see Tim Sherwood there when he was talking about the Champions League on, I think it was Sky last week, when he was like, yeah, the problem with these French clubs is they're not good enough to compete on the same day that Lyon were getting a result against Juventus, PSG qualified, and Monaco went top of their group that Spurs are in.
Who said that?
Tim Sherwood said it.
Of course. Any particular goals stick out here, or
I will say Palace are a bit unlucky, but Burnley are just like, they're just non-stop trying to get, like, at home they're just,
I think Burnley are my favourite team this year.
I think everyone has to like
very
them.
good at home. That'll probably keep them up, because some teams are just awful.
But like Palace were a bit unlucky. They've had it, like, Palace have a few games this year. Like Sunderland, they got the better of. They lost that one. There was they lost another game like 3-2. They obviously Liverpool there last week. Like they're good going forward, Palace, but they've nothing at the back at the moment. I don't know what is going on, but I think that they won't go down, but they need to tighten up at the back.
Certainly. After coming off the tremendous victory over Barcelona and everybody saying, oh, weren't we wrong to question Pep, they drew to Middlesbrough at home. Aguero scored, as did Darun, with an assist from a friend. What did you think of this? And were we wrong to question Pep? Oh, one thing, sorry, before you answer. Do you remember I was saying last week that if there's anybody who should unlock Barcelona at home, it's Pep Guardiola? So maybe I was right. And do you remember I also said that no one was going to call out the absolute dire defending in that match and just say it was incredible forward play. Do you know the one man who did it?
Me?
Johnny Giles. Johnny Giles is like, there, he looked there, defending Bill.
I kind of miss Gilesy.
I don't. I'm glad
I knew this, obviously.
But like
we got rid of one of the three. Like it's a small victory for me. Hopefully they'll all be gone soon. We get some proper young lads in who understand the game.
Well, Richie Sadler is good.
Richie Sadler is good. He replaced Giles full time.
Shine O'Bolo, Richie Sadler.
Shine O'Bolo.
Scored a goal the under-16s semi-final European Championships.
Yeah, that is true. Were Man City unlucky?
Again, they just didn't take the chances.
They were very tired. Like you could really, like they weren't really creating much. Like they were unlucky. Like they should have seen the game out, and then a great cross by friend to Darun, who match of the day treated like, you know, a Division 6 player in an FA Cup third round who's just having to score. Like, oh, what a big day out for you! It's like, I'm a professional footballer.
And then go check your phone there. See who's texted you. Come on. Probably my girlfriend. Oh, go on, check. I want to see. It's like,
What do you
Sure.
want from the Chinese?
Yeah.
Just like,
You deserve it, law.
yeah. It's just
Yeah, no,
Assholes.
Middlesbrough did well second half, but City again, they just don't take, like Aguero again had a brilliant chance. I think Navas went down the right and squared it to him. He was like 7 or 8 yards out and he's hit it way over the bar. It was just, they looked a bit tired, City, but again, if you're playing Stones and Kolarov centre half, but Clichy and Zabaleta there.
Valdes was
You know,
probably
you're
man of the
gonna-
match. He made a couple of good
Valdes
saves.
again, but like it seems like every week they're coming against a keeper who's on top form. And that's what the keepers are paid to do.
Surely this is the first time Valdez has been on top form since he left Barcelona, where he
He was really good, actually.
he was incredible.
He made some good saves.
Did Pep miss the trick by not accepting Yaya's agent's apology and putting him in the matchday squad?
But he's probably not fit.
Yaya Toure.
Was he ever?
I don't think he's fit, Neil. I can't imagine a man like him is waiting to go
I
slim
think-
as a pickle,
I'd say
waiting
so.
to do anything he needs to.
Slim as a pickle.
Yeah,
Toure brothers don't need match fitness.
Chubbier fruits.
an apple. I don't know.
Slim as a pear. Okay, moving on.
And also, a pickle is a fruit. It's a vegetable, John. It's not a fruit.
Oh,
You're a fruit. West Ham and Stoke.
What is this show?
Who called somebody last week? I think was it myself?
What?
Called it a big dirty draw on this. It had draw written all over it.
And Payet wants to go as well,
And
which is
well,
not good.
We did say we said this last week. It's only on Thursday, but we did say like if this keeps happening, the idea of him trying to
No,
push
he's
for PSG.
apparently, he's come out now and he says, you know, if things don't pick up, I'll
outie.
look somewhere else in January.
Yeah,
Like they
he
only
himself
rejected-
though hasn't been spectacular. Besides the one individual goal of the season moment, like it's not like he is soaring and the team is shite.
West Ham already this week have been linked with Sturridge, Klein, and Fabregas.
Barcelona have been linked with Klein, mind you.
January. Yeah, but
They've also been linked with
But West Ham's
Ivanovic.
on a step down. There's just all these jokes on Twitter. Like Sullivan rings them. It's like, all right, lads, do you want to come to West Ham? Why? You footballers and your questions.
Who scored for West Ham? Why
It was an own goal by
I
the
know.
Irishman Whelan, I think.
the Irishman.
Yeah,
No,
it says it right there.
no shack attack, but they did very good.
Stoker.
They were on a good
Stoker,
run. I
yeah.
think they were. It was.
They haven't played anyone yet, John.
Jesus, we all right?
That's what you said to me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they haven't. It's still a good run. 3 wins is a good run.
They haven't beaten now in 6.
What's a better run?
Twice as good. Okay, so the real show stealer on Saturday was the late kickoff at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Everton. Goals, it was Hazard, Alonso, Pedro, Costa, Hazard, I think was the order of them. It's just outrageousness. Like,
as good as Chelsea were, there was a lot of Everton last season with it. They were okay, and then the keeper made 2 awful mistakes for the first 2 goals, I thought. And then Everton heads were down. They just sort of accepted it. And then Chelsea really threw on the style for the last 3 goals. Costa was amazing after Coleman tried to break his leg. But a really bad challenge.
I really don't like when players do that, but to be fair, Costa kind of probably deserved it all. Everything that he's done.
not to him directly.
Yeah.
Coleman's
what
not
has
like
Costa
the
done?
bastion of the FA or the
No,
Players
what I'm
Association.
saying, how many times has Costa gone in and kicked someone or tried to break their leg?
Less than Coleman this season. Coleman's done it twice.
Well, not this season, but the last 3 seasons. To be
Well,
fair, Costa's
look,
been a prick.
He's turning a new leaf, and you got to forgive and forget. Anyway,
He's playing very well.
he's so good. The whole team are very good. I want to slightly concede. I still think that maybe they could improve with Willian instead of Pedro. But
No,
I completely saw
wouldn't.
what you did. I saw what you meant last week. Pedro looks like old Pedro. To be fair,
he's not direct running up and down that they need.
he's a very good finisher, which people don't give him
He's a
credit
good
for.
player.
as is Willian.
He went on last year he joined Chelsea, and no one played well for Chelsea really last year. No one did. And now he's probably in the team. He's probably in a better position than he was in. He's got even though he works very hard anyway, he's got Moses behind him as well on the right wing back. So he's kind of a bit more freedom as well. And this guy, he scored in the Champions League final. He scored Champions League semi-finals. He scored in Spanish Cup finals. He scored big goals for Barcelona. If you actually go through
He has scored in the World Cup.
He scored did he?
Yeah, he scored in the World Cup. The first victory in 2010.
I don't think he scored in that.
Myself and Claire were in Gran Canaria watching. I think it was the quarterfinal, and I think he scored the first goal.
No, that was Villa.
Are you
Against
sure?
Paraguay.
All right, I'll go look it.
I don't think he scored, but nobody. Nobody.
It's worth a shot.
Huh?
It's worth a shot.
I
That.
think he did. I have to check.
Well, look, he
I
scored a lot of
I
big.
was in Grand.
I was. That's why I remember, because I remember telling Claire who he was. I
You're
remember
probably
going
watching a
this is Pedro.
It's probably Trinidad and Tobago friendly.
I I was in Spain when
He
they
was in
won
Trinidad and Tobago,
when they won
John.
their first World Cup. Did I not tell you about the streaker?
Which one?
You.
All your stories then, though.
Very, very good. If I gave you good odds now on Chelsea finishing above City, would you take it?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know. I think it's between
Like City
yourselves.
will,
I think it's
City will-
Liverpool, City, or Chelsea. I don't. Arsenal won't win it. I never thought Spurs would win it. Man United are gone.
Ah,
as
you're
I'm-
jumping ahead here. Anyway,
I'm not.
anything else on these guys?
Cohen made a City like basically what happened is I didn't get to see this match, but I was getting loads of the updates on my phone because obviously it was a big result. And then when I finally saw it in Match of the Day, I just thought Everton were just bad. Chelsea were good, but Oviedo got injured and he brought on Morelos. For some reason, he started 3 at the back. It's like
tried to match them.
it's
Yeah.
almost like Coleman's plan was to beat Chelsea. I must become Chelsea and started 3 at the back. Despite I don't think Everton have played that all
Didn't Spurs
season,
start 3 at the back as well?
and so did Watford.
Weird.
A lot of teams are doing it.
It's hip again.
It's the all of a sudden for
It's
me.
97-4-4-2. All right. Do you think Everton are the embodiment of a team that when they go ahead, they're at their best, and when they concede, there's no fight in them? I think if you look at the results this year, they've been really, really poor.
I think they've
trying to
got
come
it
from
home.
behind.
I think Koeman's still got a big job there. Like, he's a very good manager. He will sort them out, but there's still players in there, like people like Cleverley and stuff. Like, he playing Morales, Funes Mori. Their goalkeeper's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd bring on Billy Joel,
Yeah.
their subkeeper. I'd bring him in. Like, I would have got rid of Tim Howard. Better than Stacklenberg.
Tim Howard.
Tim Howard is awful. No,
Tim-
that's
Tim-
no.
Stacklenberg is no good.
No,
Wait,
no.
wasn't it Tim Howard that put like Galaxy out of the
Well, it's actually calls from
semi-final? Well, we'll get. Okay, I'm sure we'll talk about that
We
too.
won't get to it. That is it.
Okay.
We can't talk about League of Ireland football and MLS. People get our regular listeners will be all over the place.
We
going,
don't have much this week. Arsenal and Spurs,
We're
North
going
London
into the
derby.
Egyptian League later.
This match was awful.
Salah's dad did a really good goal. Arsenal and Spurs. This was very fun. The second half was very open and very much good fun. The first goal was the own goal. That maybe shouldn't have been an own goal. But
no,
It was one of those
no one
stupid things.
understands.
It was offside, like, but yeah, like it should have been given offside.
do you think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Howard Webb said no, so I'm trusting on it.
Webb-
So
You know
Webb
John
was in
has
the
a
web
BT
cave.
tattoo, huh?
he was in the web cave.
He
it wasn't a web cave. But BT were like, here, have a go about this. And Rio Ferdinand said that it should be offside. Like, they're all going mad. It's actually like an actual match, like with 2 former players.
The
shouting at
letter
the
of the law said it wasn't, but common sense and just like how.
Well, the
was it
letter of
Sanchez,
the, hold on.
wasn't it?
The letter of the law says
Sanchez
if
or was
they're-
it Koscielny?
if
One of them
they're
is clearly
both,
offside. And the
if they're
ball's going for it.
interfering with play, and technically they're interfering with play, not because of fucking Wimmer thinking that they're behind. Well, yeah, they're interfering in play.
The ball was aimed for them.
Sorry,
The ball was aimed at them.
right, but they're offside. So they're
Yeah,
interfering.
it was offside. Like.
they're interfering in play in the sense that he doesn't know if they're offside or not.
Mhm.
And
And he-
Lloris is obviously going to
If
come for
Wimmer
it.
ducks his head, right, that hits. I can't remember. It was
So
Sanchez
hit
or Koscielny.
Koscielny
offside.
and
It would have hit
yeah.
Koscielny, and Koscielny would have been offside. Yes.
Yes.
Right. So if Wimmer ducks down and lets that ball go, he's offside. Wimmer then goes, he's behind me. I don't know if he's offside or not. I'm going to head this and try to get it out.
Mhm.
Now that he's clearly interfering in the play because he's made Wimmer's mind up, that goes in the back of the net. The letter of law, he didn't touch it, or he technically wasn't interfering. He was, though. Like, it's such a grey area and stuff, but he was offside, and it shouldn't have been given, but...
Would you agree, John?
I think it should have been given a goal. I don't think Sanchez was interfering and Koscielny was onside. Like, it was only Sanchez that was offside.
Oh, was it only Sanchez?
I
Now,
think so.
the Burnley goal Arsenal scored last month, the dramatic last goal Koscielny scored, I thought that was fine.
Yeah.
I don't think this one was.
The second half saw Dembele, who had a dirty pass accuracy of 95.6% in the game, kind of put the afterburners on into the box. Was it a penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so too. Harry Kane converted, and then Spurs hit the bar about 5 minutes before the
Yeah.
end as well. So
Well, Walcott hit the post the first half. So it was Arsenal by the first half, Spurs by the second half. Spurs had a real go with them, and like a 40% fit Harry Kane even though he did
oh
nothing.
man, no, he was so different, wasn't
No,
he?
even though he didn't do much in the game, I just felt Spurs actually had more
But
confidence.
wasn't there one
Yeah, they
chance?
more
There
going
was
for
like
it.
a half chance where he barely headed it.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he played brilliant, but I'm just saying with him on the pitch,
it's so much more. They've so much more of a chance with him.
I think
It's
there should go.
unbelievable.
Actually, wait a minute. Like, I said, like you said, he's not. I think Jansen's good with his back to goal. I think he's good at holding up the ball, but he's not good. He's not going to score goals.
Yeah.
He's not going to do anything.
Do you think that the downfall of Spurs season might be when we rewind the tape in August, it might be just missing Harry Kane so much at the start when all they could, because they're not conceding, or they're not losing
as well.
I think it's that they weren't confident enough in the Chelsea game. I think that losing to Leverkusen really affected them, because there was a minute where like Czech slipped coming out and Son could have gone in for the ball,
yeah.
but he just absolutely like.
I actually thought Son was amazing as well.
I thought
he's
so too.
Clever.
But they just don't seem to have any confidence for the goal, and Harry Kane just obviously wasn't fit. Like, but I think the Spurs fans, like, they booed on Wednesday, and I think they were unhappy on Saturday, and they're just sitting there going, "If you guys will sack him like you did ABB,
fair play to Poch for going through at the back and actually being brave. He shot balls and goes like, he just goes, right, we'll leave 3 up, we'll have 3 at the back. You just go 1-on-1 with Sanchez, and we got 2 extra guys there, and we'll flood the midfield. Like, it was pretty much a 3-6-1.
They're also unlucky that when Kane comes back, Ali got injured. So
that's also true. But they're not losing games, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Kane was fit, you can only presume that they would have won a lot.
Yeah,
more.
That's a great point, because Spurs, I thought they played maybe up and around the City game. They were playing really well. Kane got injured. They've kind of drifted off a bit. But not a sign of a good team. But when you're not winning, or the worst you can do then is lose. So they're getting a draw. So like they're at least picking something up, which is good, because Champions League they've been very poor, but they didn't buy well this summer. Like Sissoko wasn't a good buy.
Yeah,
well he's fine, but not for 30-odd million. Like Jansen is not really good enough. I think they need another centre half to help the boys out if they get injured, because they do get injured a lot. They definitely needed a top striker. I think they needed something else, maybe a really good winger. And I didn't buy as well as they could have. But like people like Lloris are having really good seasons.
How long can he be there? He's like the best keeper in the league.
Right now, he is.
I think he's been that for a while. Like,
he's a sweeper keeper. He's so quick off the line.
He's really good. No, John, that's a fair shout. Like, if they, like, for instance, right, if they don't get top 4, I can see him definitely wanting to go.
John, was he bought by Boas or Harry?
Boas,
yeah.
Was it Boas?
Yeah, it's Boas who made
that
side exactly
4 years, to be fair. True. And they've got into Champions League once.
Yeah.
So
he has to look.
Why would you even say he'd go if they're not in Champions League again?
Because he came close last year, and then if it kind of is regressing this year, he'll have to weigh up his options.
He might be on big money. I don't know. I remember.
I'm sure Spurs can pay big money.
No, usually when they sign people, they sign them on low wages, and then a few years in, they give him a bigger contract.
That's true. I'm sure he's on a big contract.
But I remember there were a lot of people looking for him when he signed for Spurs. I know Liverpool were after him as well.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I know a few other teams.
He's very good, isn't he?
He's very good.
But then Real Madrid buy keepers all the time, so maybe they don't need him.
Hull hosted Southampton. The story of this game is that Southampton just killed them with death. Austin scored, and then out of nowhere in the second half, Dawson got a kind of just a bibbly-bobbly goal, and then Snodgrass, who came on, because they have 2 injuries in the first half.
Yeah, Snoddy's first game back,
barely fit,
goal and an assist,
and comes back with a tremendous. Yeah, sorry, he assisted Dawson. That's right, and then his goal, he just took it on the half.
If Hull stay up, Snoddy should win Player of the Season.
Where's Snoddy from?
Austria,
Scotland.
Scotland, yeah.
He makes the national team, I presume.
He wants to be captain, and they won't give it to him.
He wants to be captain of the national team.
Yeah,
weird, isn't it?
He's quality.
He's so good.
He's brilliant. Like, and what I've said on the show before, he's so good that like I love that he can beat a fullback through skill rather than pace, and that's so much harder to do. And I think he's. Can you imagine him with like a top number 9 centre forward, like I don't know, like I'm just saying, like top centre forward. I would put it a guy who loves the ball in the box, even a Hugo, right, or someone who Harry Kane or Giroud or something like that, a big guy who's actually really good in the air and gets on the end of things.
Yeah.
His delivery is brilliant from the right, coming in his left foot.
He's great.
Unfortunately,
Taker.
He's got Hernandez or fucking Diamande team for like, you know.
This was another weekend where playing in Europe really affected them. Like Southampton played Inter on Thursday, Arsenal, Spurs, City all dropped points. Like,
yeah, we didn't talk about that. Southampton. Did we talk about that? No, we didn't. Because it hadn't finished by the time we'd finished the show. Southampton beat Inter, the biggest victory in the history of the club, and they've been on a great run, but it was nuts the way that it just fell apart for them. Like, because when the second injury happened to Hull, and that was when Snodgrass came on, I was just like, this is the end. Like, amazing tenacity.
I just hope he's fit enough to keep going, because when he got injured there, they didn't win anything or get any points. He's back now; they got to win.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I don't want to be mean here, right? Rooney did get 3 assists, and their 2 big signings scored, and it was like, whoa. I really, honestly don't think I've ever seen a worse team than Swansea in my life in this game.
They were so
bad. And I don't want to take it away from United, and I did pick United to win the league, and I like seeing Ibrahimovic score goals. I really do. And the Pogba goal, I've never seen a ball move like that in my life.
Yeah,
But is that what they bought him for? 100 million to have a shot from the edge of the box?
Look, whatever. Look, you can't take away the fact that it was a fantastic goal. I've never seen the ball move like that. It was brilliant. But this game is not about the renaissance of Wayne Rooney.
No, my Twitter was going nuts, and like I was with Dan, we were watching the football in the pub, and when we saw the United team, we just laughed on like the pure pace of it.
Such a slow
It's
team.
unbelievable.
And I honestly thought Swansea could do something, but then
Fellaini, Pogba, Mata, Rooney, and Ibra,
And
right?
Zlatan's, yeah.
Fuck.
And even the defence was slow.
The Swansea
fucking Jones.
Swansea fan booed because the new owners came in and sacked Guidolin, who I thought was class, best manager in the league, and brought in Bra Bradley, who's made them a lot worse.
Coach Bradley, as Henri calls him.
Coach Bradley.
Poor Bad Bradley.
Swansea, I actually think they're okay in midfield. I think
not this game.
No. The other day they were terrible.
This was the worst.
They made Wayne Rooney look like the player he was.
This was unbelievable.
Rooney's more assists than Ozil this year.
I know.
What's going on?
yeah, it's
He's
incredible.
got like 6.
Yeah. 3-1 game helps, but I really don't think the Pogba one counts, but they counted it.
Well, in theory, it goes down as a. It's like if you have a short corner and
Pretty sure he's a defender.
It's like a guy if you have a short corner and I just kick it to your man, he runs past 6 players and backs top corner. That's an assist.
There has to be, well, even then. But look,
I count those in Astro. Someone scores a screamer. I gave him the ball.
But seriously, that Pogba goal, it is one of the most beautifully struck balls I've ever seen in my life.
It's probably
it was moving 4 different ways while never losing its trajectory.
It's probably all of our goal of the weeks, and it has helped that we did a show on Thursday and there's not been a lot of great goals. But
last week was really hard to pick. This week is pretty poor.
So I guess to encapsulate the discussion about United, is this a start of a new era? Like, for instance, will he recognise that Swansea were this bad, or will he stick with this team moving forward?
I think.
Well, check who they have
if
after the international break.
If Rashford is fit, he'll probably go back in.
Oh, do they have Arsenal next week? Oh, not next week, but after the international break.
Arsenal is coming up. Arsenal have a really horrendous run, and that could knock them out.
Ibra got himself booked, so he's suspended for their next game.
It is Arsenal next, because
I think, as I said John the Pub, I think they could work against Arsenal because Zlatan wouldn't have run. He wouldn't have done anything. Well, now Rashford is going to be running in behind, and that's going to stretch them.
Well, you might start Rashford as centre forward.
Yeah, but
Rashford or Rooney might start over him in the centre.
You saw.
I don't know Martial will.
Well,
you'd be mad if you put Rooney centre forward.
I think Arsenal. You saw how much they struggled with the strength and power of Dembele. I'd imagine they would have done the same with Ibra. But Rashford was very good when he made his debut against Arsenal and scored 2 goals last year. So maybe Rashford will make the difference. I don't really know. To answer your question, United lost on Thursday. They were poor. Mourinho came out and started giving out about his players.
Yep, Shaw.
I think they played possibly
Smalling.
one of the worst teams in the league. It's close between them and Sunderland. Sunderland are the worst team in the league, but Swansea have gone bottom. Swansea had a tougher run, to be fair, but
I for some reason think he will try this Rooney Mata stuff again now. I think he will try them as starters.
It'd be interesting to know what happens anyway, but to be fair to Swansea now, do you really see... I know it's so early in the season, but I think maybe Burnley, and I wouldn't surprise me if Watford gets sucked back, and Bournemouth will be sucked down. Bournemouth will be fine, though, and Palace will be around there.
Hull.
But are the 3 in there at the moment? The 3 are going to go down. There's a bit of a quality
Sunderland,
difference.
Swansea, and
Hull. There seems to be, you look at Burnley, for example, the sheer effort and work rate they have.
I don't think Burnley are going down.
No,
I'm just saying, in terms of quality, they wouldn't be far off these guys if they're as bad. But what they're doing is they're making up in so much effort, and they're so behind Sean Dyche that they're doing such a great effort. And they've already got a few points on the board, so they can lose a few matches. But that's the 3 in the bottom at the moment. Yeah. So do you honestly see anyone really getting out of that and getting stuck in? Because I think all the teams around them, like West Brom are 17, they'll be fine. I think Palace will be fine. They'll score enough goals to stay up. Who else is up there? Bournemouth will be okay. Leicester, I think, will be all right. Just about.
Yeah,
but like I just don't see anyone else really there who was worse than them.
I'm pretty sure in my predictions I predicted Leicester City to win the Champions League and get relegated, right?
You did, yeah. So Leicester City and West Brom. Did Salmani score the first goal, or did West Brom score first? I can't remember.
West Brom scored first, didn't they?
Okay, Morrison and
did,
Phillips. I'm struggling to remember much of this game. Go ahead.
Great assist by Drinkwater for the Phillips goal. That's basically.
Yes.
What do you think of Vardy still in the England squad? Out of like Charlie Austin or Defoe?
Well,
Can I just say that? And
Defoe was 90 years old. Like, it's like when they put Robbie Keane in the Ireland squad. Like, what does he offer?
Well, but Defoe he's scoring goals.
Not the same as that.
Okay, it's not because
Ireland
Robbie
don't
Keane
have
is obviously
options.
a legend in that.
Robbie Keane was actually better than any other
but
striker.
no way should Defoe be, because Defoe plays every week for Sunderland and scores a couple of penalties here and there. There's no way he should be. The England team is bad, but not that bad.
Okay, Vardy scored 1 goal all season, I think.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
One or two.
But in the last year he's been the best English
poor.
striker.
He's been poor since the season.
Well, like Harry Kane's just back from injury. Daniel Sturridge doesn't play.
What about Charlie Austin, who's scoring goals?
It's Gareth Southgate. You think Gareth Southgate's going to take a risk?
He is going to shout. Like I'm just saying. Like for me, I'd always pick players on form, and that goes for any country. You can't just be in there by name.
Vardy offers something as an English centre forward that no other English centre forward adds.
Blue wicket.
Just blue wicket. Just he's ridiculous pace. Like Sturridge doesn't use his pace very much.
Doesn't have it
anymore. Well, supposedly Harry Kane.
Slow.
You know, Harry Kane's different. He's a target man. Austin is kind of a bit of an all rounder, but he's, you know, you're taking.
I know exactly why Vardy's going for that, but I'm just saying. It's a bit mad that he's only scored 1 goal and he's still in the squad and no one's saying anything. It's weird.
This happens, Dan. It happens when somebody who has been to an international tournament or been associated with the international team for 2 years, if they've got, 2 or 3 months of bad form, it doesn't usually completely exclude them, especially if they were top scorer in the league the year before. I don't think he's fallen far enough to say it's, he shouldn't be there.
If he's still in 1 or 2 goals by Christmas.
You have to remember
coming into the new year.
You have to remember how little.
When's the next breaks? When are the next breaks?
How little people care about this internet.
Yeah, by March, then I'll come back to you.
Seriously. So if he's over 5 goals,
if he's under 5 goals by March, I would seriously consider it being strange that he's there. Yeah.
Okay.
Should have gone to Arsenal.
Yeah, I can't believe he said that. Like, what a fucking idiot! Like, really.
And we've complained about loyalty in football before.
Yeah, both of you were like, I was like, you should go. It's like, why? Why not live the adventure with Leicester?
I admire him for doing it,
but on the whole,
the
whole England thing, Gordon Strachan came out because England play Scotland this week, and Strachan texted Southgate and was like, "Is there any chance you can get me a few tickets for the game?" Like, and Southgate responded, going, "The reaction to my appointment, I could probably get you 40,000 tickets."
That's right.
So you have to remember, after the Iceland game, people don't care about England. They weren't impressed by the appointment of Southgate. Southgate's made no waves in his team selection. Like, he even said, well, Rooney's still captain. Like, that he could have done something, but even he doesn't want the job. I don't think anyone cares enough about England right now to
get Louis van Gaal that job.
That'd be great.
Like, you just imagine him in that job.
I know that's what you want.
Honestly, I'd support England for Van Gaal. I just want him to get in any tournament. Imagine Van Gaal going the full length in a tournament and losing in the final. How annoyed he would be and what he would do and say.
Yeah.
It would just be hilarious. Keep the show on the road.
I don't know what's less likely, England to get to a final in the next few years. Imagine it's the next tournament in Russia.
Yeah.
Imagine England getting to the final in Russia.
Just England in Russia, if they get there, it's going to be.
I'd be more worried about the African club teams in there.
I'd be worried about everyone, but the English and the Russians have history, which is different.
Well, they only very recent history, like 4 months ago.
Well,
5 months ago in the Euros.
Yeah, but it still counts. Okay, Liverpool hosted Watford.
I think they should come with a warning for the listeners who complain that we talk about Liverpool too much. We've been so good this year and barely talk. Well, Liverpool are the best team in the country right now, and
yeah, they are.
Do you want to skip on 20 minutes?
Yeah, they are. We don't have the same defensive incredible prowess as Chelsea, but that's
don't need it.
It's still the most fun. It is the most fun. They're the most fun team to watch. They're maybe the most fun team to watch in world football at the moment. Two more goals for Mane. Coutinho, Chan scoring for his second game in a row kind of really says a lot about Liverpool. Firmino as well, who's kind of the catalyst in almost every goal, got one as well. Wijnaldum, who came on as a substitute, got one. Sturridge came on, hit the post twice. Basically, his efforts set up the Wijnaldum goal. Like, Sturridge was so unlucky not to score. When Sturridge is coming off the bench and hitting the post twice and stuff like that at 5-0, you look at when Mane goes to the African Cup of Nations in January, and in a way, it's kind of like, I think we'll be able to get by.
I think that's what's going on, though, because teams can't find a way to mark the front three yet. Like, no one's figured this out. Like, you can do what Burnley and United did and just decide not to play that day. Mm-hmm. And, like, Burnley got 2 lucky breaks, and Liverpool, it was earlier in their season. It's like the second match of the season, so Liverpool hadn't got the patience to do what they've done to everyone else, and then United just did nothing. You could do it that way, but if you mark Coutinho out of the game, then Firmino's free, and then Mane's free, and you can't. And
you can't exclude Lallana, because
even if you mark 3, Lallana's there.
The whole idea of the front three, it's easy to kind of it's easy to look at Liverpool as a front three because of who's getting the majority of the goals, but it's like, it's not that they're moving around 3 positions. 4 positions are in the fluid movement.
Can I just say, I thought you guys would finish very close to 4th this year. I thought you'd have a good season, and I did say when Klopp took over he'd win you a league. Yeah. But I'm sorry, I honestly do think you're going to win it.
Yeah.
I just don't see, like, now, not unless you get a few injuries. Like, if it was like this injuries like you had last Christmas, where you had you were like, what? You're like Hull this year, like, with no players. But
we had like 47 fixtures in January or something.
So obviously you want to be careful if your injuries start taking a toll again. But I got always really hopeful, but like, I honestly don't see you not winning the league, and I think you're just going to outscore teams. But I would say that Watford decided to play when it was 5-0 and could have scored 2 or 3
well,
goals.
I think
that's the only thing. It was really, like, we were watching the game, James John, and we were like, what is going on? Like, why are Watford like shooting all the time? Like, it was just no one was. I know it's 5-0. It's hard to do at 5-0, and like, it's just a harsh criticism. But like, it's just, I don't see how the game should just kept not kept going. You should just saw the game out and just kept the ball. But there was just so many gaps and everything that maybe against a better team they might take advantage. Obviously, you're going to be 5-0 against a better team, but like, I honestly think that you will win the league.
But like,
I honestly
Watford came into the match with like 3 clean sheets.
Yeah.
And Liverpool could have scored 10, and like, that's not an exaggeration.
No, it's not.
I should know. I watched the highlights many times.
For me, it's just a case where, and I agree. I take your point, Dan. It's just kind of the perfect combination in the sense that Klopp was able to bring in and inherit players that can fit his system and be successful in England, which is very unlikely. Starting his first full season, less than a year in the job.
Hold on, so he's done a lot of different things as well from what he inherited. Henderson's playing completely as a quarterback now. He's not even. Chan is probably now more offensive. Lallana now is in the middle rather than maybe used out wide.
Exactly.
Coutinho is definitely used on the left now. I know he cuts in.
Yep.
Firmino is a false 9.
Yeah, and
then they brought in Mane. So he's completely altered the team now as well. Let's not forget. Lucas is now a centre half when he does play. He played the other night. I'm just saying he's completely altered what he had. Now he's also brought in a few players, but he's completely put his stamp on it. And it is still, I believe it or not, it is still very similar tactics and strategy and style that you had in 13-14 season.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it was that kind of high press and energy and win the ball quick and go.
Swap positions.
Exactly. And again, I think that the big question mark again over is if someone can keep you scoreless at half time, I think you got to get to half time 0-0. If you can get to half time 0-0 against Liverpool, I think it's not murmurs the crowd, and like, I think Liverpool are good enough to do it, but it's the only chance I can think of that. It's like they've gone 2 games this season and scored in the first half, and they didn't score.
Sure,
Burnley and United, and they're the only games they've dropped points.
But that was because the philosophy that stopped them scoring the first half continued in the second.
No, absolutely. And I'm just saying, that I think if you can stop them scoring maybe in the first half, I'd like to see maybe there's a chance for a team. But
yeah,
look, you're bad at the back. I'm not going to get away from that. But I think you're so good going forward that I think you have the power to outscore teams. And
what happens is, well, we take away the confidence of teams by outscoring them, so our back doesn't get tested as much as it could. But what I was saying is, it's a perfect combination of obviously Klopp inheriting and bringing in the right people, implementing his style, and being successful in England. And to implement his style, you have to be incredibly fit. And we have the bonus of being incredibly fit because we have no European football. And this is the perfect storm, because what he's able to do as well is with fewer injuries and strengthening the squad over the summer. I can't remember the last time that I've looked at the Liverpool bench over the last 2 or 3 seasons and gone, strong bench. And it's happened about 4 or 5 times this year. And it's again because we have less fixtures. So,
it's not even the less fixtures, though. What you have now is your high energy press, the way you run. Like, the men running Henderson and Milner and Lallana are probably your 3 highest runners.
137k this season. Henderson is the highest in the league.
So I'd say they're your 3 highest runners. I'd say.
Could be my teaser.
Was it?
No, wish it was though. Mine's weird.
So you have those your 3 highest. But what that does then as well, yes, you've no midweek fixture. So for example, like Arsenal are playing PSG in next week. Chelsea or not Chelsea, City are playing Celtic or something. They have to prepare for those games as well. What you're doing is not even just preparing for your games, tactically, strategy, working on things, trying to solve your set piece issue at the back, even though you haven't conceded now in 3 games from that. But what you are doing is you're giving these guys rest.
Yeah.
That's more important than anything, because that high press intensity game is tiring.
That's what I'm saying. It's the stamina
like
combined
in 13-14
with
season, I believe, top of my head, you probably only played about 42 games that year.
Less, I think. You
got knocked out of the FA Cup in the 3rd or 4th round by Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then it was the 4th round of the Carling Cup or something. Yeah. So you probably played 40-ish.
Yeah.
Compared to, was it like 58, 60 last year?
Something crazy.
You know, so it's going to be a similar amount. Obviously, the cups, you will go far on them. And you're probably already going to exceed that because you're in the quarterfinals of the Carling Cup. And it's going to end there, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, it's so important to have the fitness. So
absolutely. John, anything else on that?
Well, just on the whole defence, I don't know if it was Klopp said it or somewhere else listening, but like the way he described it is like if you have like Milner playing left back and your centre backs running forward and Klein going forward, you're obviously going to give a few chances.
Yeah.
You know, to attack the way we do in such, you know, with almost 8 men running towards the opponent's goal, you're always going to I think you're always going to concede goals. Frankly, I don't think it's that important. A lot of the goals we've conceded lately are just, you know what I mean? Even the Crystal Palace game, Liverpool just always looked like they were going to win that match.
Absolutely agreed. Okay. Yeah. Clean sheets. Dan, you're pointing that out to me. So a couple of little bits of news actually that happened while we were starting the show. First of all, Joey Barton, who is scheduled to come back to Rangers after his suspension's up, they've mutually agreed to part ways.
Yes.
Do you think that they were just paying him a lot of money and he's just not that good? So they were like, he's too much trouble.
I just don't think the fans could ever accept it.
I like their manager, but the job is too big for him. Like he's no control what's going on there. And like obviously Rangers have been just run so badly with your man Green and White and the last 7
Brown
8 years.
and red.
Yeah, loads of colours. But no, they've been run so badly and there's such a bad aura and everything at the club. Like this guy came from Brentford, and now he's managing Rangers still a massive team. Massive club, and I don't think he can hack it, and the egos in dressing room, it's not good. So like Celtic running away with it. And if Gerrard leaves LA Galaxy, is he going to go to Celtic?
Yeah,
go one more season with Bren.
Just try get a league.
Yeah, there you go.
Then somehow he'll slip. It'll look like match fixing. They'll get a 10 points reduction, and Hearts will win the league or something.
But that's so true, isn't it?
Just because Steven Gerrard.
If there's any reason he'd go there, it would be to try and guarantee that one league title.
He obviously he's not going to play Liverpool on a match because they're not in Europe.
Yeah,
they're not in the same league.
Yeah,
and didn't he say he had probably the best fun ever won under Bren? He did. That he was kind of like they had that kind of a great relationship with him, and he wishes he had him in like 2005-06, so to speak.
Yeah, he did love Bren. All right. Sanchez suffering an injury. This was while in Chile. Was it today before the first match of the qualification?
I don't think it's a bad strain, but obviously it's not good for Arsenal.
He might be back by United though.
He was poor against Spurs, I thought.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
I think Arsenal.
I think they just marked him out though with the 3 at the back.
When's Santi back?
I don't know. Christmas. The John Joe Chevley thing before we move to some international news.
He's done for abusing some, I think, as a Wolves player.
So what did he say?
Well, without I'd rather not repeat it if he did say it. So,
what ethnicity was the player he abused?
He was a black man.
Okay. All right, and do they have him for it? Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's a 5-game automatic ban. If hopefully he does accept because they're playing Leeds in 2 weeks, so he'd be banned for that.
So Ireland are sitting pretty in number 2 in Group D, ahead of their game against Austria. Who are they playing after Austria then?
It's just the one game.
Just one game.
It's the last game of internationals before March.
And Serbia are playing.
Thank God.
Serbia are playing, I think it's Georgia.
Okay, so we're guaranteed that Serbia are going to end the week, or start next week even, if you will, on 10 points.
I would, if we get a 0-0 out here, the amount of players who've injured, and we have a terrible record against Austria. We played them twice in qualifying for 96 euros. Got hammered 3-1 twice. We played them twice there under the Trapattoni reign. We lost once over there, which was Trapp's last game, and then we threw away 3 points at home when Alaba scored in the 95th minute.
Yeah.
So we have a terrible record against them, and it's a tough place to go. If we get a 0-0 there or a result, we're absolutely flying, because we could nearly not knock Austria out, but they'll have a lot of ground to make up to get automatics.
So you're going to be attending it live. So next week on the show we'll hear your opinion, or maybe it'll be the week after, because we'll let the Premier League happen as well. It'll be after. But anyway, you'll make some notes for us.
I will indeed.
The other
I think we're going to go down 2-0. I think we'll lose 2-0.
Okay. And the other fixture that you wanted to kind of look at, seeing as there's only one international game this week, is for each team, is England and Scotland. Is Snodgrass up there?
I don't know. I presume he's in the squad.
Yeah, I presume so.
It's interesting though with that, because I think they're both going to wear the poppies.
The poppies.
But
did you see the poppy that came out at Anfield before the game?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It looked like a clam or an oyster, didn't it? This fucking
Leicester
poppy.
had a big thing as well.
They made the Cookie Monster wear a poppy.
They made the cookie on that's right, on BBC. They made the Cookie Monster wear a poppy.
Yeah.
It's out of control. Claire's here again. Claire's just does the kind of what are you doing here? She's keeping warm. But what she's really doing is she's preparing for her new segment that's debuting in 2 weeks. John wasn't here 1 week, and we had a special guest in, and he did a segment that pissed Dan off more than anything else. Now,
It pissed you off too.
No, Dan was already pissed off. I loved it, mate. Dan was already pissed off because he'd been goaded the entire show, and I respect that. I think he had far too much of a go at your opinions. He was trying to ruffle your feathers. But Sack the Stylist is coming back in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, thank God.
Whew. So I think Claire's going to pick one player that she wants to sack the Stylist of, and then also give it a couple of things.
She's 2 weeks to prepare.
Top 5 hairdos and stuff like that in general. So, look.
What was his top 5 hairdos?
Claire, it's Sack the Stylist. I did 20-minute reason why you should do Sack the Stylist.
I'm not Enda.
You're not Enda. But you both have glasses.
That's half the battle.
Half.
You both have glasses, so you're like Enda.
To see. All right. England and Scotland. I think England are going to win. By the way.
Scotland are on a really bad run, but they hate England.
Anything more about Mourinho burying Smalling and Shaw? Like, Shaw is injured. He's not on the England team, right?
I think he's psychologically fucked after his broken leg.
Yeah, but the point is,
and he's telling him to get over, like pretty much what Klopp did. But I think he's making him and Mike train by themselves. Look, he wants them out of the club.
Yeah,
he wants half that squad out. You could probably pick about 8 players he does not want there.
Dan, your goal of the week.
I don't know. I like Pogba's and Ibrahimovic, but I'd not give it to them because I don't like them.
You have to give it to Pogba.
No, I'm going to give it to Chris Wood.
Okay.
Because we scored a really good team goal, and then we scored. We won 3-2 against Norwich.
Can I have your objective?
We're top six.
I know. Yeah, fair, I thought you might want.
We're going promoted, and you're going to win the league.
If that does happen,
we're going to just all of us dead in the Liffey.
at
the end of the show,
we would have to go and see the very first game, no matter whether it's if you guys do get promoted.
It would be Liverpool Leeds if it's usually champions versus the promoted team.
Oh fuck yeah!
My God.
It's not going to happen because I've bought tickets to the end of the season, so it's a good 7th place finish.
Yeah,
Klopp getting sacked and them getting Tim Sherwood or Steven Gerrard in to manage.
Sorry, Leeds getting Gerrard in to manage.
Yeah, Klopp,
Oh, yes.
Klopp gets too frustrated, boots Daniel Sturridge up the arse, gets sacked, and we get Gerrard in as manager. And then
Your goal of the week, sweetheart.
Neil was very impressed with the names of the forward line of the team that played against United on Thursday. But the opening goal was incredible.
Yeah.
Sales bicycle. And poor Wayne Rooney scoring an absolute cracker and just not being able to smile because their team. United are actually a bit of trouble in that group. They might not get out of it.
It's amazing.
Well, maybe Mourinho's doing it on purpose.
I don't think he is, but he could.
Klopp did have his little barb, didn't he, about when he was asked this week if it helps not playing in Europe, and he said ask United in January. Yeah, Rooney, 1 goal and 3 assists, no matter how poor the opposition was in a week.
In 3 days.
In 3 days.
Both away from home.
And he will start for England now as well. He'll be brought back in.
I also say Messi had a great goal against Seville as well.
Oh, did he? I saw no Spaniard.
That was a cracking match, that one.
Your spoofer of the week.
Giroud.
For saying that he cried after his meeting with Arsene Wenger.
That was in the same interview, yes, but he's also said
You read this?
he's also said he's terrified of Alf.
Oh, who isn't?
Alf the Alien.
Yeah, you know the Alf. Of
course.
He's back in Pog form.
Just about to say it.
Jesus Christ.
Like, yeah, he said he's terrified of him, and when he was a kid, his older brother used to sort of gang up on him and said Alf is going to get you at night, and he's still terrified of him to this day. And he says, like, I really don't ever want to meet him. And then he started talking about Wenger and how he's dropped. It was a very depressing interview.
Very depressing.
Very depressing interview for Giroud this week. But he says he's terrified of Alf.
Kind of looks like the top of Alf's head. Upside down.
And he says he's worried about his French team position now.
I'd love to see Alf in French, the way Giroud must have experienced it. Maybe that's where the creepiness comes from.
What would he be called? Would he call something else? Claude.
What a go-to. Your spoof of the week, John.
We didn't talk about it last week, but I don't know. It's like, you know, when you're watching your team and you're supporting them, and then they concede a penalty,
Yeah.
and you just want to do something to like help, but you can't. You're helpless. Well, these Spanish fans realized there's something they could do,
Yeah, Ronaldo.
and opened their trousers and whipped out their members and started like doing the old helicopter routine to put Ronaldo off. Some of them turned around and just full on mooned Ronaldo. To be honest, I was so amazed by their fan support. I don't even know what happened to the penalty. Did Ronaldo score it? Did he not? We'll never know.
We'll never know.
He whacked it at their arse.
Yeah, if he
Hard as he could.
I'm going to
He signed a new contract, by the way, this week.
He did 4 more years, and he says that it won't be the last contract
He
he
says he
signs.
wants to play until 41 years old. Mate.
And
No. It's not happening.
Probably
Tony
not.
Kroos just came out there that he broke his metatarsal, so he's out for a very long time.
Oh, Kovacic getting back into that team. We'll see. Okay, my spoof of the week is Zlatan Ibrahimovic for his celebration. The teasing me so much that he's going to kick Phil Jones straight through the heart and then not pulling it off made me very sad. From the angle that they showed, I was like,
I wonder what face Jones is putting out.
all of them. Your hero of the week, Dan.
I'm going to give one to Luis Suarez. He purposely got booked so he'd be coming back after the international break fresh, because he's going to miss like the next game or something, and then he'll be back for all the big games or something, or something like that. He's
It's to give him a break when he comes back from international break, yeah?
It's something like, so he's missing a crap game and he'll be back fit and not suspended for, like, if they've got like Real Madrid or something or coming up.
Why do you not just ask not to be played?
Well, you know, you want to play, won't you?
Remember David Beckham did that for international, like he didn't want to miss a match, so he got suspended, and then it was like, yeah, we're giving you another suspension, like he said in his interview. Like,
Well, the real hero this week, it has to be Moise. Fair play, David. He's got to win. It's his first win in the Premier League since like March 2014.
It doesn't have to be Moise.
It's an hour and a half. It's a year and a half.
An hour and a half. It's an entire game of football since the last
Year and a half since he won a game.
All right.
Seemed like an hour.
All right. John, hero.
Another thing.
Going to talk about the mooning again?
Just the mooning. Another thing.
Arse number 2.
I don't think I got enough responses to the mooning thing. So no, another thing we missed last week. Napoli player Dries Mertens and his wife dressed as his teammates Insigne and Hamsik for Halloween. Like, there's the photos.
Oh, that's so good.
Like,
Oh, that's so good.
yeah, so we'll throw the photos up. It's actually shockingly impressive.
It is, especially Insigne with his lovely hair. Or sorry, that's Hamsik's hair.
Yeah.
Hamsik has got the mad hair.
Hamsik's got the mad hair. Yeah. Okay, very good. All right. Oh, teaser. Right. So here's how we're going to do this. There's 3 answers to this question. I'm not looking for the order. I'm just looking for the 3 players. Okay. So first person to buzz in has a go.
Okay.
And then it's going to go back
We
and forth
actually have
until
to
someone
press
gets it
a
right.
buzzer,
The
or-
first person to do, you go, "Meh,"
Okay.
and then we go back and forth. Okay.
John's like,
So you want to play for the advantage? You want to get this?
John,
okay?
have some toffees there before you buzz.
Yeah,
in.
Who came placed 1, 2, and 3 in the Ballon d'Or 2005?
Brr.
Go for it.
Ronaldinho was 1.
Frank Lampard.
No,
was 3.
hold on. This is not how we're doing it. He gets a full crack.
Ronaldinho
on
was
all
1.
3. Okay.
Samuel Eto'o was 2 and Frank Lampard was 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I go with that?
John. He's incorrect.
Oh.
In 2005.
2005, yeah.
I think it's 1 and 3 were correct.
I haven't decided if I should say that or not.
Well, no, you can't, because then he'll pick other people.
Well, I know Frank Lampard got 1 year, and I was pretty sure it was that year, so I know that he's 3. And 2005 was when Ronaldinho was just ruling football, so I know he's 1. So
It's number 2 then.
number 2, who was good in 2005? It should be Gerrard because he won the Champions League that year, but it's not.
Who was it? Was that the 3?
He's right. He's got the 3.
You sure it wasn't Eto'o?
Eto'o was there, but the actual voting is Lampard was 2 and Gerrard was 3.
Why do I remember Eto'o there?
Okay, can I tell you a secret?
What?
Right. I saw a picture of the 3 of them with Eto'o, right?
So the picture that I remember for a decade ago.
Hold on.
Weren't the 3.
But when I checked it on FIFA and on Wikipedia, it had Ronaldinho, Lampard, and Gerrard as the top 3 votes.
Check that there. That's
Yeah, no.
No, I did. And so
And here's our
looking at
3 winners. Samuel Eto'o.
We have election controversy.
No, so I have to go with John. I was going to go. That was what I thought it was. But then, if you actually look at the actual voting, Gerrard came 3rd.
I know Gerrard won like the best player in, or what's the stupid award they give for like best player in Europe? That's not the best player in Europe. Like the most valuable player in the team or something like that. They give it for every Champions, the best player in the Champions League.
Oh yeah,
basically.
European.
So John, I hope you have a teaser ready for me and Dan.
Well, I have 2 weeks to think about it because there's a
Oh, you did, don't you?
nice international break.
Well, we can do another one there if you want.
Okay, very good.
Just keep doing this for the rest of the show.
No, we're going to finish up with some fantasy land. So Dan, have you checked how things are going here?
I did, yeah, the other day, yeah.
Okay, all right. I know that I don't know where you guys are, but I know that I've gone up 1. Tommy on the bottom, Reg Harrison, who was there on Saturday night, by the way, in 16th. Rob Normal in 15th. Becky moves up into 14th. Dave Rogers, Darren Hillard, and Shane Hart are all in the same places as last week. Ron O'Reilly, Regis Kerr, and Noel Keeley, 10th, 9th, and 8th respectively, have all
Noel's
dropped
taken a big drop.
by 1 place.
Tough birthday for now.
James Byrne is up into 7th. I've gone up into 6th. Bastards. John is in 5th. John is 19 points ahead of me, so it's doable. Dan and John are level on points.
But in theory, I'm still 4th on the list.
So this is amazing. So we're all pretty close, okay?
And we're all battling for that top 4.
We're all battling for top 4 because top 3 is Dave Nolte, who's gone down from 2nd into 3rd. Kenny has gone up into 2nd.
And I heard of me.
Closing the gap on Stephen Vincent, who now has a little bit less of a lead. So let's see. Yeah, Dave Nolte is only 5 points ahead of you and John.
Okay,
it's getting
so
exciting.
Guys, getting excited.
Stupid international break getting in the way of this. Like I wish Dan a good time in his holiday, but I hate international football.
Gonna play my wild card, lads.
That's insane.
No, it's not.
I've already played it.
Yeah, me too.
What the hell is it insane me doing it?
Because you don't do it straight after the international break. Because all the lads come back as slugs.
That's very true. But I was thinking maybe a few injuries might be picked up.
Yeah, well, wait and see.
Wait and see. We'll all wait and see. We'll be back this day, 2 weeks. Dan will give us a live report of Austria and Ireland, and we will be covering all the Premier League fixtures from 2 weekends from now. So until then, enjoy the international break as much as possible. Let everybody know about the show who you haven't already. As I said, we try and do it almost every week except for international break. You can get us at facebook.com/ITK Soccer Show, at ITK Soccer Show on Twitter, and ITK Soccer Show on YouTube, where you can get all the archives as well. Until 2 weeks, goodbye.